Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Thank you everybody that submitted questions on my episode 1 video earlier this week. I know a lot of you weren't huge fans of the black and white they used the way they edited the episode. Just remember they do try to get really creative with the intros every once in a while. As much shit is going on right now, I think this episode is really going to go down as the legend of the protein bar. That was like the biggest thing I heard people talking about right after the episode. So just careful for spoilers as we get into questions, starting with number 1. Say asks, what's with the crazy booby-trapped town Morgan making a brief appearance? Did you take my protein bar? Well, Morgan isn't a brief appearance. He's going to be a series regular for at least the first part of the season. I don't know if he's going to be here for the second half. I certainly hope so. He's really interesting. Lenny James' status is to be determined. I believe he's a series regular currently, though. But he's talking about something from Season 3. It's Season 3, Episode 12, where he, Michonne, and Carl go back to his place. You see Michonne eating in the background. I know she's at least eating chips. She may have also eaten the protein bar. I think that's the consensus, that she definitely ate the protein bar. She does get called on eating stuff in the episode. Her response is, the mat said welcome, so like, who cares? The showrunner Scott Gimple, after the episode, said that he was actually really blown away at how people were upset over her maybe taking the protein bar. His response was just like, hey, there's a lot of terrible stuff happening. Let her have it. Let her have the protein bar. In the context of the episode, that was really just him saying hello to Michonne, kind of feeling her out again. So it's really not a conversation about a protein bar at all. It's just him reaching for a shared experience that they had, something that they have in common. Next question, Ozzy asks, do you think that if Fear the Walking Dead did not have The Walking Dead in the title, it would be as popular? No, I mean, it definitely wouldn't be as popular, but you could say that of Star Wars or anything else that's part of a franchise. Like if they did a Star Wars spin-off movie with characters you'd never seen before in a different part of the galaxy, would you know it was a Star Wars movie if they didn't tell you? Just from a marketing perspective, if you were to do a spin-off of any big franchise, it would be the worst decision in the world to not use the title of the really famous thing that you're spinning off. But the different thing that they've done with Fear the Walking Dead is that it's not like them taking characters they've already established and creating another series based on them. It's like characters that we've never met before. That's the weird part. Next question, Gamer Insurgents asks, it might just be me seeing it, but do you reckon that they are intentionally portraying Rick as an antagonist? Or am I crazy? Or maybe both. No, they're definitely trying to make you think that Rick is the antagonist. That's just them messing with us. Of course, Rick is the protagonist. They just want you to feel like there's going to be conflict in the group. You can't get too mad at the writers for stirring the pot that way just because this is a drama. It's as much a gritty drama as it is a genre show, like comic book, zombie. For Rick, it's just like the next logical step for his character. Last season, though, I think is when he hit the boiling point, when Michonne just cold clocked him and knocked him right out. Next question, Gabriel asks, do you think that Rick and Morgan will remain friends? If not, who do you think would be the one to end the friendship? Well, no, I don't think that they're gonna ever completely break it up. I think that Morgan eventually will pass on if he doesn't end up dying. But he is so firmly entrenched in his new philosophy, like this crazy, weird Jedi Wanderer philosophy that he has, that I do think he will be one of the few people who won't completely drink Rick's Kool-Aid. So at a certain point, he'll have to either drink that Kool-Aid completely, completely become a survivor, or he'll have to go somewhere else. But even if that ends up happening, I don't think that they would have a major falling out where, they beat at each other's throats like Rick and Shane. Morgan isn't going to dig Lori's corpse up and try to take Rick's family from him again. Next question, Soccer Star asks, this may not be a direct for this exact episode, but Carol seems to be still acting useless. How do you think that Beth would act if she was in Alexandria? If Carol died and she survived? Well, you and pretty much everybody else, Beth has her fans, but Carol is the better character. I think if Beth were still alive, what they might have ended up doing is giving her the arc that Sasha has right now, where she goes super hardcore, just starts carrying an automatic weapon around like it's her boyfriend. Which I guess means that it would end up dying sometime during the episode. The joke about Beth's boyfriends are that they all die really, really quickly. If you want to get rid of any of the male characters on the show, just have them go out with Beth. Next question, Judge Holden asks, wouldn't it have been just easier to burn the horde in the quarry? All the work to get the route set up, why go through all that trouble if they could just throw some firebombs in the quarry? Well, one, because I think they wanted to have that big drawn out drama, there wouldn't be an episode if they didn't do that. The second reason, and the one that I think is more important, is because even though it's Rick's idea, part of the drama of the show is characters making really bad decisions and it completely messing everything up. So the fun for us is just seeing the Walker problem just blow up, exploding guts all over everyone's faces. Next question, Michael asks, who out of the Alexandria folk would you say is most likely to turn against Rick or try to take control of the community? Well, I mean, I don't think that anybody is going to try and wrestle control from him. Deanna's technically still in charge, even though they're deferring a lot to Rick. I think if anyone's going to be causing problems for the community, it's probably going to be Enid or some of the new characters that we don't know a lot about yet. There is one new character that we haven't met yet that's a comic book character that the show is bringing on called Denise Cloyd. She's going to be like the new doctor, but I don't think that she's going to be a character that's going to cause a bunch of problems for everyone. She's relatively benign. Next question, Gabriel asks, do you think that Carl will lose an eye this season? Well, there's been a lot of weird pictures from the set. I try to avoid spoilers for The Walking Dead because there are so many spoilers, but I generally don't expect any characters to get maimed long term, just because it would be really weird for actors to have to live with that for the next like 3 seasons. Like the governor lost an eye, Merle lost a hand. They're probably a little bit better at acting through stuff like that. Chandler Riggs, great kid, but we really don't even know what his arc is this season. And he's not the strongest actor on the show. And generally, things like that can feel kind of gimmicky. Like, oh, we're just gonna hurt this character to make them interesting. I can't really say no, they're not gonna maim him. I mean, I don't know if they're gonna do that. But it really just depends on where his arc is going this season. If you're one of those people that's hoping for like stuff like this to happen, they are doing a lot more comic book storylines. So I think the chances have increased dramatically. Next question, Nikhil asks, why did Glenn have to empty out the shop if they didn't need to do anything inside it? It was pointless, wasn't it? Well, no, it wasn't pointless. They wanted him and Nick to have that moment. I think that's the only reason that whole thing existed, just so they could have that save. It was really almost more of an arc for Nick. Like, they wanted him to turn into a good character, and in order to do that, he had to have that save, so they kind of had to be in this dangerous situation on their own. So I think that's why they had to clear that shop. Next question, Notebook asks, did anybody else not see Aaron or Carl in this episode? I couldn't spot them, or Rosita. Rosita was in the infirmary, and we saw Aaron in the flashbacks, Carl too, I think, but in present day, they were just off doing other things. But thank you so much, everyone, for submitting questions. These are always a ton of fun to do. Congratulations to this week's giveaway winner, too. Danielle Mark, you win a $20 Amazon gift card. Just private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact info. So there's going to be a new round of the giveaway whenever I post my episode 2 video. There was such a big cliffhanger last week, you could almost view it as a 2-parter, these first 2 episodes. So we're rolling into the weekend. Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones is going to be on Doctor Who tomorrow. So even if you haven't watched Doctor Who before, I would advise you to watch this episode. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maisie Williams is a total badass. I also still need to do a Flash Arrow Q&A, and there's a bunch of new footage, so I might do a new trailer video for that too. That would be Saturday night. So everybody get pumped, and don't worry, there will be new Game of Thrones this weekend too. Lots of awesome stuff happening. So in case you guys haven't seen it, you can click here for all my Walking Dead Season 6 videos, and you can click here to learn all about Hulk being in Thor Ragnarok. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.